And welcome to another episode of the Geek 2.0 podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Joe.
And we have another guest. This guest is very special. It's a very special guest.
We thought we'd treat him fairly this time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Cliff.
He's back.
I'm back.
Or did he never leave?
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll leave it up to you to decide.
When did we become a criminal podcast? The live detective podcast? Soon we're going to have to be sponsored by Casper.
They get better ratings.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, sponsors like Casper, Audible,
Squarespace.
Squarespace. Yeah, Squarespace. It's like your podcast starter pack.
I was on Twitter and someone was like, "Oh," they were kind of just like joking. It was like, "Oh, here's your," like you said, podcast sponsor. It was like a bingo card. Like they mentioned Casper. Then they say hi, hello, and welcome to, and all the things like just the general like.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Did you? I think I can't remember now at this point.
Told me about the kid that said
there was a little kid that's all they did was watch YouTube videos. Like they didn't have cable, typical.
Oh, yeah.
But it was to the point that that's what they thought you said in real life. Like they were little. To the
you're
point
coming to meet a teacher. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
they were going to bed. Like they were falling asleep and they're sleepy. Like don't forget to like and subscribe and lay down.
Good night, mommy.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit the little notification bell.
So you know what I'm doing.
But that's weird. But on this episode, actually, we're going to be talking about kids. And one thing that first we'll start off the bat with safety in your car. And I don't know if if you've been on YouTube, you've seen the Russian dash cam videos.
They've at least popped up under recommended or up next.
Or watch one of those web clip shows. They pop up every
or even if you're on Reddit, you go to the subreddit of idiots in cars. This dash cams are, especially here in America, are now becoming more and more
prevalent. Yes.
Yeah, and Joe, you've had a dash cam for what, a couple years now?
A year or two.
Yeah, about 2 years, because I got it when I got the new car, which was when my daughter was born. Yeah. So yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah, I jumped on that bandwagon too with the dash cam. I got it in both of our cars.
Yeah, I don't have it yet. I don't.
One of us.
And we thought we were going to treat you good this episode. Get out.
I don't see the overall need for it. I get the points for it. I just, it's just not something it's not a need that needs to be there for me. I mean, when maybe my daughter, when she might start driving, maybe.
It'll be built into the car by then.
Well,
oh, yeah.
But once again, if we're going to talk about that.
Well, at that time, when she's old enough to drive, they won't need to drive.
This is true. But we take those aspects now as nice features. I can't wait until it becomes already included. Mm-hmm. Like, where at the time when I was buying a car, having automatic windows going up and down was a feature and not a...
That's what you look for, is like, ooh, automatic door locks.
The car. Yeah.
Back in the day, the easy way to tell is the driver's side window down or the driver and passenger. Yeah. Both windows are down, automatic windows.
Yeah. Yeah, because especially down here in Florida, it's like during the summer driving, you got the storms, so you don't want to be driving around with a passenger. You get into a stoplight, reach over.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you had a stoplight, that's lucky.
No, you got so good. You're going down the road, 60 miles an hour, reaching over.
I plead the fifth.
Or you have some kind of contraction, some kind of like stick or.
Thus, getting into the dash cam where you can see that idiot going all the way over, the flip, trying to. 2, 3, 4, 5.
But we were just talking before we started, like the history of dash cams it was basically a webcam, like not even 480 quality. It was like VGA quality, hooked up to a small computer that you have hooked up, like jury rigged into your power.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, you go back. I mean, police dash cams are the most prevalent. And they were essentially, like you said, it was more or less a webcam or a camera connected to a hard drive that's just inputting.
It was very, very, very expensive. Yeah.
Because I remember they would be like in the trunk of the car.
Yeah.
Versus now that's
well, I
detail.
remember back in the days, watching Tech TV. And it's one of those British shows. I know, pour one out for Tech TV. Stupid, whatever. G4, and then they died, thankfully. But this has one of those British import shows like The Future and Text, and they had like a computer in the trunk. It's like, oh, this can be shrunken down in like 5 to 10 years. Well, not only did they know, it's less than that. But
I forget what the name of the rule is where when like processing speed, like every 5 years, I forget the name.
Oh, is that Moore's law or something? Yeah. But dash cams now are cheap enough. I mean, I don't know how much you paid for yours.
I'd have to pull
like
it
the
up.
second generation, like you get. This is your second one that you got.
Yeah, this is my second one. The first one didn't survive too well in the Florida heat, and the capacitor inside of it started actually discharging my battery.
Yeah, that's
my
not
car.
good.
Yeah,
Ooh.
no, yeah. So yeah, had to get another one that could actually withstand the heat. And when I was looking this one up on Amazon, there was actually a video where they put this dash cam in a toaster oven, put it on 400 degrees for 10 minutes, and it survived.
Okay.
Like, still turned on, survived, and then they turned it up more.
It's typically a summer day.
Well, yeah, your summer day, it's not going to be 400, but they can corroborate with, let's say, 400 degrees for, 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then
if it survives that, I mean, it can survive 150.
And then they turned it
car.
up even more after the fact, and then it, melted, but it was still okay. Like, you could
The
still...
housing,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's a black box, so you get into
Yes.
a horrible car accident, they can pull the drive like, it wasn't my fault.
Well, actually, I'll take that and say with the wildfires in California, and you're that's probably reaching up maybe 1,000 degrees, maybe at that time.
A little bit higher there.
Yeah, but still, it's a black box of video recorded evidence of what you went through.
But mine's the Rove, ROAV, dash cam A1, and you can find it on Amazon for $55.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
I
bad
bought it's called a Yi dash cam. Yeah, YI.
Oh, not Kanye Yee?
No.
No.
Not yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Well, the difference. Kanye, yeehaw.
Well, it's a Chinese manufacturer. They make a lot. They make action cameras. They make dash cams. They make video cameras and point and shoot cameras. They make everything. They're like the Huawei's of China.
I was going to say they're probably knockoffs of Sony or something
Yeah.
along those lines.
But I bought mine and on sale on Amazon for like $25.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at that price point. It's like you're dumb enough to not get
do it?
Yeah. I wasn't even looking over there. I was looking outside.
I couldn't help. I had to look at Cliff.
It's not about the price point. It's not that it's expensive. It's
No.
just one other aspect of, well, like we were talking about like before, is that the commercial, I think it's a Hyundai or something, I forget what it is. And they were like talking about the safety features of like, oh, you get to hear, if you doze off or being distracted, and then they turn to them taking a selfie. Now you're just giving the opportunity for
self-incrimination.
Yeah. So like, where's that weird line of, is it protecting me or is it, putting the screws to me? You know what I mean?
Well, the way that I look at it with them is, it is a better to have and not need than a need and not have. You know what I mean? Like that, to me, all it takes is for something really stupid to happen. But it's, especially depending on where you're at, us being in a no-fault state.
Oh, yeah.
It's very easy for an accident to happen and you get screwed over even though you did nothing wrong. But because of where you hit the other person's car, they merge in front of you and you get in an accident. But because of the fact that you hit from the passenger, the rear...
From the B-pillar back.
Yeah. it's it's now your issue because you should have hit the brakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's something as simple as that. Whereas if you have your dash cam now, the exact same accident happens, you now show the police officer, look, here, it's now the other person because there's video evidence and it's not he said, she said.
Right.
So it's real easy in that sense, and that's what I like. Not to mention what started, at least in my opinion, what got me on the bandwagon for it was all the crazy YouTube videos that you saw of dash cams, specifically in Russia.
Russia, the block over there.
Where you would see, meteorites falling out of the sky.
Well, that was a big thing from the last one. I'm going to butcher the name, Chernobyl or whatever. The meteor that came over, that exploded over the city, knocked out, broke almost every single window in this whole 100 miles radius. But they could actually pinpoint, because all the people that are driving with the dash cams, where it was coming from, where it was going, how high, and everything. It was actually really interesting to look at it.
Or you'd see the videos, and this could happen to here. I haven't heard stories of it, but it's very possible of you being stopped at a stop sign or a stoplight, and pedestrian walks in front of your car.
Oh, I've seen it.
Hits the car and falls down.
I just saw on the news someone was trying to do the old I fell and hit them. They went to a Wendy's or something like that, grabbed ice from the ice machine, dropped it down, walked past it, waited 5 ticks, came back. Oh, I slipped on ice.
Well, no, they didn't slip. They gingerly lowered themselves down.
They didn't want to get hurt now.
But
for real.
Oh, I fell and hurt my back. Well, on the day of everybody has cams.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not saying that there's not a plus on it. I just don't see something.
You don't see the need at the time.
Which is why I said, for me, I'd rather have it and not need it than...
Well, I actually put in the first dash cam in my wife's car, and within a week later, she had witnessed and shown on the dash cam an accident in front of her, where of course, in our area, which or any other area, is someone not paying attention while driving.
Yeah.
Stoplight, 2 or 3 cars are stopped, and they had pretty much plowed into the back of the other car, or clipped it and then went to the median. And it's you know exactly what they were doing. They weren't paying attention while
they were on their
driving.
phone or something.
Or on the phone, yeah. And there's been plenty of times we've seen the buses, the videos of them trying to look at their phone or not paying attention or saying, "Oh, I fell asleep," and then ramming into the back of someone else.
I had a friend of mine that actually helped him get out of a speeding ticket. Because he got pulled over by a cop, and
as they would do.
Yeah, of course. It's usually what happens in these situations.
This is also random.
And he goes, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And my friend was like, "I was doing 55. That's what I had my cruise control set to." And he's like, I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but something along the lines of I clocked you doing this in a 45 or something like that. And he goes, "I could have sworn that it was 55, officer. Would you mind if I were to pull down my dash cam video so I could take a look at the stop sign so I can, if I missed it, I know." And as soon as he said, get his dash cam on his cell phone video, the officer was like, "Never mind, don't worry about it. You have a good day," and left. And just, walked away.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I don't know if either the cop made a mistake or if I called him on his bluff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And got out of a ticket. But either way, I just saved myself, a whole bunch of time and hassle.
Yeah, well, I look at also, is also a dash cameras that look outside, but they also have another camera that looks inside into the interior of the vehicle, which is a lot of case with Uber and Lyft drivers, or also cabbies as well. There was one case where this, I forget either this Uber or Lyft, where their fare they had set up a tip jar in between the seats. One of the passengers in the back seat had taken the money out. It's all caught on the dash camera, and of course the Uber Lyft driver, named and shamed, it's like, "Hey, I got you on my camera," and then of course the lady was like, "Well, I didn't do it. I was doing it because it was funny." It's like, you're stealing from a person that's not making enough to begin with. They're doing Uber and Lyft. Yeah, sometimes you can do a lot of money, but most of the time you're not getting
extra scratch or something.
Yeah,
it's a second job to something else.
Exactly,
yeah.
and you're taking their tips. That's kind of a really bad
Dick.
moves. Yeah.
Like stealing tips off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just that's another aspect. I feel like we're trying to like build an aspect for like Cliff. Join us. These are the pros and cons.
I can understand like if you were doing,
But no, it's like yeah,
like,
it makes sense.
It makes sense, and then especially like with all their claims of people who have been sexually assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Absolutely, you don't want to get knock on wood that someone doesn't go like, he sexually assaulted me. Well, here's my camera for that day.
and it's like it's a whole ride, and you get in and you get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
And that's actually in India. There's a large, especially with the Uber, the gig economy over there. They've had a lot of issues with sexual assaults or any kind of assaults. So they've implemented the dash cams or inside video cameras to cut down on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then people, which is even funnier, is that you were talking about dash cams and all that stuff, but people complain about red stop, red light.
Yeah.
It almost on the same par.
I don't feel that it is.
You say that, but
You say that now, but there is a huge pushback, and a lot of them are either cutting off or removing them now.
But essentially, it's doing the same feature. Yes, it's a revenue for the police department or the city.
No,
yeah.
I would say the intersection cameras that they have out there that are just running are similar to the dash cams. Those are set up specifically to go off in certain situations, so that's completely different in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, if our dash cams were set to only go off if, we hit a certain marker point or a certain word was said, then yes, I would absolutely agree with that. But this is something that's constantly running, and it's only there in the event of something happening, and you go back and rewind. It doesn't capture just a certain triggered event.
Yeah, because there's sometimes where, because how these dash cams work, it's a constant revolving recording. So if you have like 32 gig card in there, you can save 2 or 3 days worth of video,
Depending,
and it constantly erases or over records the previous or the oldest one first, and starts anew.
If it detects,
if it detects a crash
accident or something like that,
it saves.
will just tag that video with a no delete.
Yeah,
and keep going.
So then you're have that fail safe. So you don't accidentally delete it if you forget. Well, I got in a crash, and you're in the hospital for a week or two.
Yeah,
and someone's taking that car out.
Someone's not taking that car. That you just had into an accident that you got to go to police.
Well, no, that it works because if you're a pedestrian and you get hit by a car, then they can go for a couple more hours, or they take a camera and then say, "Oh, I don't have anything." So it's kind of like a fail safe, but also it leads into like a privacy issue.
Yes.
I know a lot of states have where you have to. Some of these cameras can record audio.
Yep, mine does.
I turned mine off because you have to let the other party know that you're recording. So I just basically say it's video is fine because it's public, you're in the public, but it's goes down to audio is more of like a gray legal. I don't want to deal with kind of issue.
To me, I completely agree. But to me, that keyword should, only come into play in the event of like an Uber or something like that, where you are dealing with something like that.
Well, you have to have notification or stickers on the windows when the person's getting in. Hey, by getting
audio,
in,
video,
you're applying this contract that you're getting for audio and visual.
Like in that situation, yes, I agree. In our situation, like, I definitely agree with you, and I could see situations, but I personally don't feel like I should have to tell Cliff that my dash cam is recording audio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, unless he's going to say, sue me over something like that, which is, again, this is all very possible.
Yeah. Well, or basically you say, all of a sudden you have like a drunk night out and your guys are singing Backstreet Boys and you posted up that video on YouTube and Cliff would be like, hey man, that's not cool. Take that down.
But again, these are supposed to be friends and family that are in your car. That's a different, again, not saying that it can't happen, but you should be handling those situations differently. If Cliff did come to me and tell me, hey, can you take that down? I don't appreciate it, or whatever.
Or if I was a DMCA on your
I would take it down. You know what I mean? We're friends.
Yeah.
Obviously, this meant something to him. I would take it down. No harm, no foul.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But then you get.
There are those, again, as we talked last month. There are those extremists.
We'll call them extremists. I think that's the key word there.
So yes, you are absolutely right. That's a tough one for me personally.
Yeah, I mean but it also goes again. You have to do your homework on like your state's laws and stuff. If you get into an accident and it's on your part that you're talking on the phone and your audio is recording of you talking on the phone, or you have like the interior, basically you're screwing yourself out because you're showing you were not driving, or you're driving but you're not attentive while you're driving. Again,
to me though, that's also the reason why I do have the audio on though, because it is that other piece that in the event something is happening, it's that other piece to show.
All right.
Like for example, you're turning or merging. There's no way with a dash cam for them to know you have your blinker on. Except
True.
The audio.
The audio, yeah.
You hear the tink, 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 tink. You've obviously got that blinker on. You know what I mean?
But who uses a blinker nowadays?
Well, I mean, again, that's a whole nother subject. But I'm just saying, like, that's that other piece. Or like you were saying, on the phone. You know what I mean? If all you're hearing is radio, you hear, blinker, like you just hear normal noise, they can't say, oh, I saw them talking on the phone when they cut in front of me. Okay, well, if you saw me talking on the phone, where's the audio of it? Because here's my cam, and all you're hearing is radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's that little bit extra that unless you have the camera that's pointed at you with zero audio, that's where the audio comes into play.
Okay.
That was my one, like, okay,
the
here's that
takeaway
little,
on that, yeah.
Here's that little bit of a fail-safe. Again, these are videos that only stay on this
never
thing.
lies.
The videos are only on the dash cam unless I need them. Otherwise they get overwritten, so it's not, it doesn't matter what gets recorded.
I can just imagine now Susie, when she's in the car, and when she's listening to music and singing, Joe just loading that up.
Carpool karaoke!
So honey, you were doing this and you're very good, but you're a little pitchy on this.
I'm pitchy dog.
But yeah, dash cams are they're a godsend and a curse at one point.
It's always a double-edged sword.
It's pretty much with everything in life. You have that good and bad on everything. Candy, it's good. It's bad for you, but it tastes so good.
Well, actually, come to think of it, because I tested it. I didn't have the setup for it, and I didn't feel like going through all of it. But they have dash cam apps on your cell phone that turn your cell phone into a dash cam. So as long as you've got the window mount, you just run and they're really nice. There's actually some really nice ones out there I was really happy with. I just didn't have, in my car, I didn't have where I have my cell phone mounted. It just didn't work. It didn't quite make sense. But that could be something that, you know what I mean, depending on your situation. That way you're not making a permanent fixture in your car of running this, that you could just temporarily.
Plus also helps it cuts down your having to look at your phone,
you're not,
because your phone is now in use.
Following the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook thing.
While going down the road, it's like, that dislike. Thumbs down on that one.
Well, anytime I'm in the car, I have Waze up to the point I've actually got screen burn in.
Oh yeah,
of Waze on my phone. Yes, that's how often I have it up when I'm driving. So I definitely can be like, wasn't on my phone.
Yeah, because I do the Waze, and also either depending if I'm listening to a podcast or also doing Spotify as well. So I'm constantly going through, and I'm having issues with the Apple CarPlay. It's like, that's another.
Because it's Apple.
Well, Bluetooth is actually a lot better.
It is.
Yeah. But that's a whole nother subject. So actually, let's go ahead and jump into our other subject. Now,
what's so funny there, Cliff?
Yeah. is something that I personally am starting to get with is because our daughter is coming of age of the tweens.
Careful how you phrase that.
The tweens is a interesting adventure to go on now.
Yeah.
And get in contact or keep in contact with their friends is the communication over the internet. Is should we get her into like the Facebook Messenger for kids aspect, or go on to something that's more kid orientated, that is not Facebook, if you're looking for privacy or anything like that, and you don't want them to get involved in the social aspect of the social media aspect of things.
When they're getting to the age range that your child is, they're starting now to where all communication is through an electronic device of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till you guys get into that.
The only one that she handles with is talking to Susie and Charlotte. That's as much that happens right now.
She's also less than a year.
Yeah, I understand that.
Well, I'm sure when Lex gets older, there's going to be he's going to be.
They'll do FaceTimes and stuff.
Yeah,
like that. Absolutely. We do that now.
Yeah, the FaceTime bug actually happened.
Yeah, well, no. I say FaceTime. FaceTime is the general term I'm using.
Video conferencing.
Yeah.
Google Hangout.
Yeah.
Joe.
Too soon.
Again, we're doing a lot of pouring out for services here. But yeah, it's the fact is like, okay, there is apps out there, do text messaging between the kids and each other. Mm-hmm. How would you go about doing that? Do you just say flat out no? My son, daughter, no, you're not doing that. We're cutting out all electronics.
Put it this way, that is always an option.
Yes.
Whether it's the right one, it is always an option.
It could be the no helicopter of you install the program on the phone to monitor and be Overwatch kind of deal, or could be completely free and trust your kid.
Free range.
Yeah. It
doesn't work too well with kids as it does with chickens, but
not as tender. But you have to. I think the best way is a weird middle ground that you have to develop with your kids.
Yeah, I have. It goes down to how you are with your kids, and it's trust issues and how mature they are.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a case by case kind of thing, because
how paranoid you are.
Every child is different, and yes, every parent is very different with their paranoia. Because you will have paranoia. It's just to what level. That's a very true statement. I know we talked a little bit before about this, and you don't quite feel comfortable with the Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, because my personal issue, because I have pretty much given up on all Facebook to the fact where I only do Facebook pages, because at the time when I created the pages for the podcast, I did it on my personal account instead of a business or brand account, so I can't cut Facebook completely without cutting out or deleting the pages. So I'm like half and half. But with the Facebook Messenger for kids is that you have to have a Facebook account in order to overlook what they're doing and to approve or deny who they talk to. So my wife, she's Facebook constantly because that's her deal. That's everything. And I'm sure Susie's the same.
And even I'm more comfortable actually with Facebook because I know you were talking about Discord, which you use, and I'm not comfortable with Discord at all, actually.
It's the devil you know and the devil you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
The same thing. Like you worry about Facebook tracking all the things and all the top of all the other things that can be done, but you deal with the thing that you feel most comfortable with, or the one that you feel that's not going to track, or whatever you're paranoid about that particular social media is going to be about.
It's because everything that's been going on with Facebook, I'm not going to say that Facebook is bad. Facebook is bad, okay? Okay. It's just the how they go about things. So I have an Amazon Alexa in the other room. So I am fully self-aware of tracking things. I use Twitter. I used to use Chrome, but I switch over to Firefox because it's a lightweight compared to
Chrome.
Chrome.
Backwards.
No, give Firefox a try. It's so much better than Chrome right now. How many browsers do you have on your computer?
3. Actually 4.
Yeah, same here. But
IE, Edge.
Yeah.
Chrome,
I got
Firefox.
I got Vivaldi, Firefox, Chrome, IE, Edge. Anyways. But I'm fully self-aware of the tracking aspects of it. I'm okay with tracking. I take it.
I bet you do.
Oh yeah. But it's the fact that with Facebook, my issue with Facebook is that it's the Cambridge Analytica. It's the constantly losing their getting not hacked, but the breaches and stuff like that. And just I know my information is already out there. I looked on Have I Been Pwned website, and my email address I use is pretty much everywhere. So I'm on a due diligence of making sure passwords are constantly changed, or I got a password manager that has a long string of whatevers, and that's my belief with Facebook is, like you said, the devil you know and the devil you trust. With the Facebook Messenger for kids, they say, "Oh, we don't track everything." I have a hard time believing that.
But even if they do track, what is the negative in that? Because to me, the tracking aspect is honestly that's just a part of life, or getting to be a part of life
for now.
Whereas really the part that you got to be wary of are the other people that are out there that may be communicating with your child. That's a bigger danger than whether or not they want to know what interest the company wants to know if your daughter likes, a particular brand of, Disney princess or toy or whatever like that. Well, let them know that, whatever.
Well, it's taking the tracking aspect is basically building a profile on a person without them actually giving a choice in the matter. And
they disagree because you signed up for that particular...
Yeah, because now when they become a teenager or even older, it's like all of a sudden, well, Facebook is having an issue where the younger set of generation is not using Facebook. They're moving to WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat.
Yeah.
If I say, yes, go ahead and get a Facebook Messenger for kids, well, now they have a profile image of my daughter through Facebook, which she didn't want.
Yes, okay. I mean, I can definitely understand that, but again, what are they going to have that's
everything
of importance?
They'll have. If let's say worst case scenario, Facebook does track what your kids do, what they say, and it keeps a record of everything that they do. Well, now they have a aspect of their social life and what they talk about, what they actually purchase, and everything like that, and then all that information can be bought, sold, and to the highest bidder. That information can be bought and sold by third parties that have no relation to what you're buying. It's like, what is your demographic of situations? Okay, what if your son or daughter is gay? Okay, well now they have that aspect. Okay.
What does that matter?
That was actually one of the things that...
well, no, they're saying that they don't feel comfortable coming out at that time. They come out when they're 20, but at that time, going through high school...
There's actually a story about that where there was someone that was in the closet, but I'm assuming they went to Facebook groups of LGBTQ or all that other stuff, and was getting ads or other stuff because it was linked to other websites or stuff like that, and it was popping up on their feed of hey, gay cruise this weekend, you want to go? And then her problem was that coworkers we could be able to see them, see all that kind of stuff. And I get, tracking is a huge problem. We will eventually maybe deal with it, but unfortunately, unfortunately right now, we're in the wild west of how things...
How your information is bought and sold and stored.
And like Joe said, is that, taking the people that you know and trusting those are a 17-year-old girl. I mean, Facebook, AOL chat rooms were notorious for thinking about
that was the Wild West.
The ASL, the age, sex, location checks.
But once again, you take to the same aspect of predators create things because they know what they're looking for. I mean, even the law enforcement know what they're looking for, and that's how they catch a predator, not trademark. But essentially, you're going to have to find that, like I said, middle ground of social media to parent control to, all right, well, every person that you're friends with, I have to be friends with. That's work that angle. All right, if they're going to be on Snapchat, I need to be able to see what you're sending on Snapchat. Or do the weird app of, okay, I'm now essentially hacking your phone because I'm watching everything that you do.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we talked about before, because I don't use Discord. I don't have anything against Discord. I understand what it's there for, and I think it's a really great product. I have seen a lot of reports of kidnapping and child trafficking and stuff like that where that is what they are using, is Discord to find and lure these kids to whatever their doom, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I'll take your example. It's like, look at Club Penguin. Okay, you have... I don't know if it's still up and running, but it's basically...
I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah, it's basically a service built for a social media outlet for kids. Now, who's to say that you have your 60-year-old creeper guy pretending to be a 13-year-old girl signing up for Club Penguin? It's the same aspect for anything. It's just how is the service is controlled. Like for Discord, let's say you set up your server, because that's what it is. You set up your server or a channel, let's simplify it there, that you have full control of who gets invited, the roles and permission levels within that particular channel. Now, the thing with Discord is that you can go into a link on any website. Like, it's basically for gamers that you say, click on here to join up for my Discord server. You click a link, and within less than a minute, you're on another server. That's in your server list, channel list that's on your Discord app on your phone. What happens in those other channels, you really don't know unless you're as a parent go into what they signed up for as well to monitor. Now, that is also another thing, because you have to monitor.
That's a lot to keep track of.
Because not only you have to monitor what's going on within your own personal or your created channel, you also have to go onto the other channels and see what's going on and what's being talked about in that channel as well.
And see, to me, it would be... That's a lot, especially for your average Joe user out there. That's a lot. And that's very easy for kids to get around.
All right. I think of the greatest, but Joe, you're going to program something to be able to monetize it, and that's how you pay for all this.
Yeah, that's one way you have to get
the
the
keywords in all these chats.
The skins and different.
But whereas with like the Facebook Messenger, yes, anyone can create a profile and try to befriend your child.
Right.
But on my aspect of it, that's, while very real possibility, is somewhat easier to avoid because of the fact that you can be like, anyone that's on your friends list, you have to know.
Right.
And if you have to know them, that means I have to know them. And it's not like you have to go crazy over the top with it, but if it's a friend in school, okay, real simple, just have them send me a screenshot of their profile logged in on their phone. That's it. You show me a screenshot on their phone of their profile, I know that you know that person. Real simple. You know what I mean? Like, it's not crazy. It's not over the top. You get one picture and you're done, and they are now friends, and they can talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Well, I know...
if you can't give me that evidence, you don't know them.
The one thing
they're not your friends.
I think Facebook... I know Instagram and some other places, what is all one Facebook owns, Instagram and WhatsApp,
Yeah.
is that they have a profile linking so you show it's like a QR code on your phone. It's an easy way to
Okay. Yeah.
okay, I want to friend you. Okay, you pull up your QR code on your phone, show it, and then click, and Bob's your uncle.
It's right along those lines. If it's some stranger that's out there trying to, cyber stalk your child for whatever reason, they're not going to be able to do that.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, there are, and it's not even something that they have to do every day,
right?
But it's something that you could, once in a blue moon, when you catch the bug or whatever you want to call it, just be like, who's this? You know what I mean? Like, you're going. They do that nowadays on regular Messenger. You know what I mean? You go through the contact list, like, oh, who's this on your contact? Who's this? You got to keep up with the kids, especially the younger ones that do have phones. You do have to stay on top of that, at least for now.
Yeah, because like with any kind of social aspect of friending, air quotes here, games or anything like that, because they'll pretty much
hit
anywhere, anybody.
Absolutely.
Say, hey, friend me. You're playing around for 15, 20 minutes, and I'm playing a game. Okay, here's my friend list, or here's my contact.
So I mean, you're already kind of doing that already. So Messenger, it's no different, except they have profiles. You know what I mean? So it's a matter of, okay, show me, who's this person? Oh, I don't think I know this person. Who's this person?
Yeah,
I'm being much more like on top of it. You don't have to be that crazy, but you could very easily just kind of go through and just go, who's this, who's this, who's this, who's this? And if it's someone that would be like, oh, I don't know, they just sent me a request.
A random invite, yeah.
Okay, cool. Gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
They can't communicate with that person anymore. To me, that is so much easier than having a list of channels, as you're putting it, that you have to go into each channel that could have so many people in it. You're not good. That's a much larger grouping of people that it's very easy to lose someone or someone to blend in or slip past.
Right.
Than here's everyone that I can communicate list. That's it. That's
now I also want to give other options. There's other chat apps that work similarly to Messenger for Kids that doesn't have the Facebook tie-in. They're more isolated, so to speak, from in Facebook. There's I don't have it up here, but there's other aspects where it's just like you have to sign up for the app, and it's basically going by either the phone number, or you make their own email for your kid. That's how they sign up. Gotcha. And that's how they communicate. Give me Bobby, or give me Sue's email address or whatever. And you can even make their own fake phone numbers if there's Viber and stuff like that.
Well, and from what I've heard from actually Tommy, who has been on our podcast in the past, his stepkids, they're much more into the Twitter and Instagram, and I don't remember if he's the one that told me or if it was someone else, where they're actually using YouTube as a messaging system where they'll go on and create ad hoc chats on videos.
Because you can break it down by comment, then there's a threaded comment from that one single one.
Yeah, and
it seems so.
It's so roundabout and way.
It seems really inefficient.
It's like going to Albuquerque to Tampa to Brazil.
But at the same time, if you think about Facebook and how it does its list of its feed, and that's never a current list. That can be just completely, if you wanted to find, oh man, we had this crazy conversation, you go to try to find it, sometimes that could be a nightmare. Whereas you can be like, hey, go on this video.
True.
You know what I mean? And we're all going nuts on it. Okay. And it pulls up and they just go. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a little pop-up. Instead of a pop-up store, it's a pop-up social media, depending on the video.
I get, video will last a lot longer versus trying to find that feed 20 minutes ago that is no longer there, or it's deep.
Yeah, because YouTube is so deeply ingrained. I mean,
especially for kids.
True, but unless they're gonna get really weird, dark, it's Silly Songs 20. on this particular time frame.
But you can also share it.
That's true.
And you can save for later.
Yeah.
So it's not in your profile now. Okay, you
And now
save.
it's saved and
Yeah, I can also see from the Twitter way of things too, because you have full control of who you follow, who follows you. You can set your account as you can set your account as private.
Yeah.
And then you can invite, someone can send a request to follow. You can either approve or deny, and then you can do private DMs on that. So that aspect
And I think
is.
you can turn off the private DMs, can't you?
Oh,
I think you can on Instagram. I don't know if you can on Twitter.
well, if your profile is set up as private, you have to be invited in to even DM and to even look at your feed.
But I think you can turn that feature off altogether. Even if you're
I want to say you are correct on that, where DMs are off.
I've not done it myself, but I think that option's there.
Yeah.
So, like Instagram, I'm okay with, because it's all pictures, and
a lot of kids do go on Instagram because they're sharing the pictures.
Yes. So I'm okay with that.
And they've gotten a lot better with their how much you can
Get away
show
with. Yes.
and
Yeah.
all that other stuff. They've tightened some of that stuff up, so you can't send risque or show.
And so if you can turn off DMs, that's very easy to cut that off.
Right.
You just keep, not to say that they can't turn it on, message, and then turn it back off. If your kids gets to a point technology wise, they should be able to figure that out relatively quick.
Because with Snapchat your messages can expire after
Quote,
air quote after so many minutes or whatever set you have set it up. But again, you have to follow your kid, and then you have to follow who they follow.
Well, either that or
group
the same
follows.
thing with like I was saying with Facebook for kids. They have to know who they are, and you have okay.
Unless you want to go to the extreme route, I just tested. I'm just running it. Go to Keybase. Keybase.io is that you set it up. It's all encrypted on either end, but you have to prove you are you through your Twitter. You have to set up. You tweet out a link that is going through a Keybase servers that are all fully encrypted. Say this person says who they are on Twitter or Facebook or a website or even Bitcoin or whatnot. So you can follow them on Keybase on the app, and this is who they are. I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's
I haven't seen that. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore if you want to go for
I was gonna say you're going to the top tier of. If you really want to figure this out, you're gonna have to go through a lot of hoops.
Yeah, it's not easy because the setting up the onboarding processes, you have to do all this stuff. You have to set up a Twitter link into your feed and stuff like that, and Keybase checks that, and it's good to say if like you're a high profile person, and your Twitter is constantly getting hacked and stuff. Where you can go turn around and say that's not me anymore, drop it, and this is me now. So it's kind of like trying to find the words. Like it's a who's who of put it plainly. It's like this is who I am. And this is my references. It's like LinkedIn, pretty much, but it's a secured LinkedIn.
Gotcha. So, I mean, to me, it's like those are easier than Discord. That's why you know what I mean? Like, again, nothing's perfect. There are always going to be ways around and loopholes and stories and situations. It's just, for me, it's easier to follow up on, check, maintain than it is for something like Discord,
Facebook or Discord. Yeah. It's just how it goes by case on your kid and what you feel comfortable with doing and everything like that, and how you're computer savvy, I want to say.
Oh, absolutely. You have to have some
because it can go from it's just plug and play to you're going to Fort Knox type of.
And then once again, like I said, when you're going through you have to send the encryption.
Yeah.
The average parent is not going. Not even the geeky parent is going to do that. You're going to have to go really hard to be able to be like, I'm going to manage all the crypt keys, and I'm going to have to do all this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work for everyday people.
Yeah, well, the onboarding is the first part of it, but after that, it's pretty easy. But it's just that first step with a person that the normal average Joe, that Facebook is sometimes a conundrum on of itself to them.
Yeah.
This Keybase is not going to be for... It'll scare them away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if you got any ideas or any suggestions, I mean, if you know any other apps or anything that you yourself use, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be really interesting to find out.
Phone. That's going to be it. Just give the kids rotary phones. Never have to worry about that.
No, we're going to string and tin cans.
Let's not go that crazy. Pagers. We'll stick with pagers.
Whoa, hold up now. 911, everyone. Oh, go back to those days. You actually have to find a payphone to call back in.
Or, you send the messages based off of what the keys letters
we're
are.
going to T9 or...
Yeah!
You really want to go Morse code? Beautiful mind. All right, so this is this.
Hey, I used to be really good at that. I could just look at it and tell you what it said.
But yeah, if you know anything that we're missing or that you yourself use, just let us know. We would love to hear your feedback. Any kind of feedback, we would love to hear it.
Yeah, anything.
Anything goes. Well, almost anything goes. Don't send your dudes to us.
Yeah.
Send it to Joe. So, thank you for listening and joining us on another Geek 2.0 podcast. We'll catch you on the next one next month. Peace. Thanks for listening to this episode of Geek 2.0 podcast. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Geek 2.0 podcast. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Geek20 podcast. Don't forget to visit our website at geek20podcast.com for older episodes, news, and much more. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast through your favorite podcatcher player of choice. The Geek 2.0 podcast is part of the Collective Network.